So let's talk about sex and fasting and how to prevent temptation, and I mean sexual temptation during fasting. Hello and welcome to Bedroom Matters. My name is Cecilia Go, the lead coach here, and we're very passionate about building healthy relationships, healthy marriages, and a healthy space to raise well-balanced children. So today we'll be talking about sex during fasting and how to prevent temptations that may arise during this season. Okay, so let's talk about fasting. Fasting is a time, as we all know, to seek God's presence, to seek deeper intimacy with God. But for married couples, the question about intimacy arises, and the question is, does fasting mean no sex? To dig into that, I'd like us to look at what the scripture says and how intimacy can deepen your relationship with God and with your spouse. Number one, what does the Bible say about intimacy during fasting? Now, my reference scripture would always be 1 Corinthians chapter 7, verses 2 to 5. And it says, "Do not deprive one another except with consent for a time, that you may give yourselves to fasting and prayer, and then come together again, so that Satan does not tempt you because of your lack of self-control." Now, abstinence during fasting is optional. According to this Bible verse, it is optional. It is not mandatory. And before you start to come for me, I always like to say to people, unless you're doing dry fast, and unless the both of you are on the same page, the moment you break your fast, the moment you're able to eat, you can also enjoy intimacy, and I mean physical intimacy, with your married better half. Okay, now it requires mutual agreement, and it should be temporary. So for those of you who are fasting for a long period of time, say 30 days, 90 days, 100 days, if the both of you are not on the same page, if there is no agreement, and you just decide that only you, one person, can make that decision to just fast and deprive your spouse of their conjugal rights, you are living in sin. I didn't say it, they're not my words, and I'm speaking to mostly Christians here. They are the words of God. Okay, so I need you to understand first off that mutual understanding is very, very key, and that it has to be for a period of time. Okay, now intimacy is a gift from God, and it is designed to protect and nurture your marriage. Number two, why intimacy matters during fasting. Let's talk about the importance of intimacy during fasting. Number one, intimacy strengthens your love, your trust, and the unity in marriage, even during spiritual practices. The major question here is, why are you married to somebody who you're not on the same level with spiritually? Because if you're married to somebody who both of you sit down and you talk about spiritual things, and it's a given that when we're fasting, we stay away from sex, and then we can come back to each other when we break our fast. Then we won't even have these problems. Second, neglecting intimacy during fasting without an agreement can create distance and vulnerability for one spouse to be tempted by somebody else. So keep that in mind. Okay, now this is a passionate reminder from Songs of Solomon. "I am my beloved, and my beloved is mine. He grazes among the lilies." This is just a tiny verse, and it's Songs of Solomon 6, verse 3. Just a tiny, it's telling you how beautiful intimacy is between a husband and a wife. So most times people run away from intimacy during fasting because they think it's a dirty thing. It is not. Okay, intimacy is not a distraction. It's an expression of love that reflects God's design for marriage. Number three, let me quickly share a story about the couple that I would call Lisa and David. So Lisa is a worship leader in her church, and David is a deacon in his church. And every January they have this issue, because of course January around the world, maybe just mostly Africa, Nigeria, we do the spiritual exercise on a regular. And every January they have the same problem, is recurrent, and both of them just got to a point where Lisa is frustrated because, according to her husband is not understanding. He's not spiritual enough to know that during fasting they must abstain completely. So even when they break during the day, she's not interested because she's holy and she has to remain holy till the end of their fasting exercise. And of course, her husband David is like, I'm still a man at the end of the day. Yes, I'm a man of God. Yes, I'm a deacon in church, but I still have water and blood running in my vein, and you're my wife. So when we're done fasting for the day, we've broken our fast in church, we've prayed, and we get back home, can I at least be able to hold my wife? Can I kiss my wife? Can I hug my wife? Can I make passionate love to my wife? And Lisa is always running helter-skelter until, they had to see their pastor, their lead pastor. Thankfully, he was able to share this same scripture with them, and things started to ease on and it became better and better. If this is you, regardless of who's at fault, because in some cases it's the man that is the head, the spiritual one, and his decision is law. In this season, we are not, whoever it is, understand that you're supposed to lead according to the Bible, what the Bible says. And if you're not leading, then you're living in disobedience. Okay, so it's important that you do not make the decision alone. Let's talk about practical tips. Okay, first thing that I want you to do is for the both of you to discuss your fasting goals and decide together if abstinence is part of the plan. You must sit on the table and have this conversation. And maybe you're watching this when you've already started the fast, it's midway. It's never too late to sit down and have a goal around this fasting. First off, what is the essence of the both of you fasting for your marriage? What are you trusting God for? What are you hoping to do even more? What are you fasting from? You must sit down and have these conversations and agree. Can two, do anything? Can two move forward unless they agree? They must agree. Both of you must agree. Okay? Whether or not you abstain, ensure that your relationship remains strong through prayer, communication, and affection. And I hope that you've been able to get something out of this video. Fasting is a spiritual exercise. It's a beautiful exercise where, we collectively just enjoy God's presence and fast from certain things that can distract you in this season. So for some people, you want to fast from food, fast from drinks, fast from alcohol, fast from TV, fast from gadgets, fast from whatever it is. And for married couples, if you want to also fast from sex, make sure that both of you, agree on it. And here are my key takeaways. Fasting doesn't automatically require abstinence from intimacy. Please note that. Number 2, intimacy strengthens emotional and spiritual connections even during your fasting. And of course, open, honest relationship is crucial for the both of you to align on your spiritual and marital goals. So it's important to note that you might think that you can't be tempted, whether you're male or female. God said that both of you should agree and come back together quickly, because your fasting shouldn't take too long. Your abstinence from physical intimacy shouldn't take too long because of your lack of self-control. God knows that if you're given the opportunity to be tempted, whether you're male or female, most women will think, oh, I can't be tempted once I make up my mind. Given the right circumstance, the right environment, the right good-looking man who knows how to do all the things that he's supposed to do right, to say the right things, and he's able to get you to that space, you just may fall for the temptation. So it's important that as married couples, both of you come together, have a conversation, agree on what needs to be done, and please stop using fasting as a reason to run away from sexual intimacy with your spouse. I hope this has been enlightening for you. I hope you've been able to get one thing or two, and that both of you will do fasting even better moving forward. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned something from it. I want to appeal to you to help us share this video with your community to enable us reach more homes with the message of healthy marriages and the truth that marriage is beautiful when done right with the right partner. Finally, every week someone would win 20,000 naira on our YouTube and Facebook page, and all you need to do is subscribe to our channel and follow us on all our social media platforms, and of course engage and continue to share this video, and you never know, you might just be our lucky winner.